Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Ahmad Daniel bin Mustafa, and for today I'll be presenting the usability testing and heuristic evaluation for the Econova app prototype, which was developed for students at Management and Science University. So now I will be speaking about the project objectives. So the goal of Econova is to help students manage their food inventory, receive expiry alerts, and share surplus food with people surrounding them, and also to find eco-friendly suggestions, all through a user-friendly mobile application. So our main objectives for this evaluation would be to identify usability issues that may hinder user engagement. It is also to assess the effectiveness of the key features and to recommend improvements based on user and also expert feedback. So now we're going to be moving on to the method and uses for usability testing. So this usability testing, it was being conducted formative in-person usability testing with 32 MSU students from diverse faculties. And some of the key tasks included was navigating the app, manually entering food items, using the live inventory camera that was built in manually, and then setting up expiry reminders, and also to explore eco-profit suggestions. So in the beginning, our target users were students aged from 18 up to until 40 years old, and those that are comfortable with mobile apps and interested in sustainability, since this application was built to promote eco-friendly and sustainability. Now let's move on to the key findings of the usability testing. When the usability testing was being conducted, there were some things that worked really well. For example, most users found that the app was very easy to navigate and visually appealing. Features like live food inventory, expiry reminders, and food sharing were highly valued. Even so, there are still some of the room for improvements for our group, which some of the users commented saying that manual food entry and form filling were quite confusing for them. Button size and placement were not always intuitive, and some of the users also requested that we have to put more customization such as night mode and color options to keep up the application updated. Suggestions included adding an onboarding tutorial and making alerts easier to find. So now that we are done with the usability testing, let's move on to the process and main issues for heuristic evaluation. So for this section specifically, we have applied Nielsen's 10 usability heuristics to systematically review the prototype. And for the top 5 usability issues identified would be, the first one is no feedback for actions. The expert have said that there was no loading indicators when navigating screens. The second one that was being pointed out is no clear exit in dialogues. Some models lack a back or cancel button, which this can be quite difficult for people to get back to the initial page. The third one would be inconsistent button styles. The expert have said that the buttons look different across screens, which this might cause quite a confusion for the users. And the fourth one will be icons without labels. Some icons were also found unclear to new users. And lastly would be no help or onboarding. So it has been seen that for the first-timer users, there is no help section or tutorial to guide them. So this might be quite difficult for them to know how or have an idea on how to handle this application for their daily usage. So now, as for the recommendations and design improvements, I would like to address these issues by recommending that we can add feedback mechanism by implementing loading indicators and confirmation messages for user action. Secondly, we can also ensure user control by adding clear back or cancel button for all dialogues. We should also standardize the UI components by making button styles consistent throughout the application. And we can also improve the icon clarity by adding tooltips or text labels for all icons. And I also wanted to suggest to introduce onboarding and help by providing a short tutorial for first-timer users and also a help section for future support. And lastly would be offering customization for the users. I think by adding options like night mode and color themes, it can enhance the user comfort for them to use it during nighttime or daytime. So now coming off to the conclusion and next steps. So to summarize everything, I would like to say that Econova's core features and design are well received, but there are still some room for improvements in form of usability, button clarity, onboarding, and customizations, which it will significantly enhance the user experience. So by saying that, I suggest that the next steps would be that we have to implement these designs refinements and continue iterative testing to ensure that the app will meet the real needs of MSU students and its future users. So that's all from me. Thank you so much.